Are Jungkook and Jimin hiding something? Why were they caught working out together at a luxury hotel gym in Los Angeles alone at night? What secret agenda brought them here? And what does this mysterious moment really mean for Jikook? Before we dive into this mysterious late-night gym sighting that has shaken ARMY to its core, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on every twist and turn in this unfolding Jikook chapter. Your thoughts matter. What do you think is really going on here?
In the shimmering haze of Los Angeles nightlife, a city of lights, illusions, and secrets, something shifted in the quiet corridors of a luxury hotel gym. The night was still, almost too still, until a faint hum of a treadmill broke. The silence, then came the sound of footsteps, synchronized like a heartbeat shared between two souls. And then they were seen, two silhouettes, familiar yet cloaked in mystery, Jimin and Jikook together, running side by side. Was this just another workout? Or was this an unscripted scene in a story the world was never meant to witness? The footage was grainy, dimly lit, but unmistakable. In the blue glow of the fitness center, there they were, Jimin, in a white shirt that clung to him with every breath, and Jungkook, dressed in dark hues that blurred him into the shadows, masks on, heads down, yet somehow, their presence screamed louder than any headline could. Was it coincidence, or were we finally catching a glimpse of something they've kept hidden for far too long? How do two global superstars surrounded by security, watched by millions, end up alone in a hotel gym in the dead of night? What followed wasn't just a flood of theories and screenshots. It was a wave of emotion, confusion, and unanswered questions that rippled through the fandom. The timing, the secrecy, the look exchanged as they stepped off the machines, every second was dissected. Why now? Why here? And most importantly, why together? And what about their expressions? Under the flickering gym lights, there was a brief pause, an unspoken communication, a subtle moment as if one was waiting for the other's signal. Jimin glanced sideways. Jungkook adjusted his grip on the treadmill. Their bodies moved like they were used to this rhythm, not just the rhythm of exercise, but the rhythm of each other. Could this be practice, preparation for something ahead? Or was it a reunion carefully orchestrated away from prying eyes, yet too magnetic to remain a secret? And the gym, was it chosen for its privacy, a late-night window when no one else would be around? Or did fate align to let this moment slip through, just enough for one fleeting video to break the illusion? As fans replay the clip, slowed down, frame by frame, the smallest details begin to scream. The towel Jungkook held, was it handed to him by Jimin? The water bottle on the bench, only one, not two. Were they sharing? Was this choreography off stage? Or was this real life pushing past the boundary of public and private? And why were they both wearing masks if no one else was around? Hiding from germs or hiding from recognition? It's impossible to ignore how their appearances have been seemingly disconnected in recent weeks, each scene at different events on opposite sides of the globe. And then bam, together, without a word of announcement, no selfie, no Instagram story, just silence, and sweat, and shadows. Is this the beginning of a new project, or a private rendezvous that slipped through the cracks? The air was thick, not just with intensity but with questions, the kind of questions that don't have easy answers. Were they simply catching up? Was it about health, or something heavier? Because what we saw wasn't just two idols working out, it was something that felt loaded with energy, emotional energy, hidden tension, quiet relief, a reunion, maybe, or a promise made long ago, finally honored. Jimin's form measured, focused, Jungkook fluid, almost hyper-aware of every move. They didn't speak, at least not out loud, but there was communication, a language of glances, a rhythm of pace. What makes this encounter even more intriguing is what came before it. Jungkook's recent solo appearances, filled with emotional undertones, and Jimin's sudden return to the public eye, less talkative than usual. Something was changing. And now, this together, late night, in a place where no cameras were supposed to reach, except one did. And the person who took it, silent, anonymous, no caption, just a moment, frozen in time, left to haunt our imaginations. The ARMY, with their ever-watchful eyes, picked up on subtle cues, the positioning of their machines side by side, closer than necessary, the way their strides matched, the synchronized pace, almost as if they were rehearsing for something that needed perfect unity, or perhaps something far more personal. There's a weight to silence, and this silence, between two of BTS's most emotionally expressive members, speaks louder than any statement. If there was nothing to hide, why not share it? Why not own the moment? Unless it wasn't meant to be shared at all. Unless it was a moment stolen from time, a fragment of their real lives. Unscripted, intimate, hidden in a place that felt safe. But it wasn't safe enough. Now, the moment is out. And with it, an avalanche of speculation, heartbreak, and curiosity. What will Bigot say? Will they speak at all? And what about the members? Was this planned with others' knowledge, or was it a secret even among brothers? The truth is elusive, but the feelings it stirred are undeniable. Those few seconds were a trigger whisper of something deeper, a connection long suspected, often doubted, and now once again burning in the spotlight of possibility. Jikook, a name formed by fandom, but carried by gestures too precise to be dismissed. We may never know what was said that night, or why they chose that moment to be together. But what we do know is this: something happened, something too perfect, too aligned, too loaded with meaning to be just coincidence. As the lights in the gym flickered off and the silence returned, two figures disappeared into the hotel's private corridors, and with them, 1,000 questions walked quietly into the night. And perhaps the most haunting part of it all was what wasn't said. No staff reports, no fans in the lobby catching glimpses, no blurry photos of them entering the hotel earlier that day. Nothing, just the video silent, dim, raw, a recording that felt more like a window into a sacred world than a simple sighting. It was intimate without being invasive. It was accidental, yet it felt almost destined. But who leaked it? And why? Was it a fan who got lucky? A staff member with a motive? Or someone trying to send a message subtle, but pointed to those who have always suspected that Jikook isn't just a fantasy, but a reality too fragile for the spotlight? Speculation flooded timelines like a tidal wave. Some cried, some gasped, others remained silent, stunned, rewatching the clip as if each replay would uncover one more clue. And with each view, more questions began to take shape. Was this the only time they had done this? Or had there been countless nights like this? Shared workouts, silent moments, shared water bottles, shared secrets that had simply gone unnoticed. One fan wrote, "They moved like they've done this 100 times before." Another tweeted, "That was too synchronized." It's muscle memory. It's knowing each other's breath. It's something else. The emotions weren't just excitement, they were complex. For years, the conversation surrounding Jikook had danced between admiration, suspicion, and heartbreak. This moment only added fuel to a fire that had never really gone out. And then came the theories. One corner of the fandom insisted this was tied to a comeback. Jimin and Jungkook, preparing for a surprise stage, maybe a subunit, maybe something cinematic. Another group wondered if it was simply healing. Two friends finding comfort in routine, in silence, in one another. But deep down, the theories all circled back to one truth. This wasn't normal, not for idols at their level. Not for stars who live under a microscope. You don't appear in a locked hotel gym in Los Angeles at night just for fun. Not unless you need to be there, and not unless you're meeting someone you trust. Because that's what it felt like: trust. A trust so deep it didn't need words. So powerful it could be felt in the gap between machines. In the way their bodies kept time with one another. In the way Jimin looked ahead, but Jungkook's body subtly mirrored him, like following a signal only he could hear. It wasn't about the gym. It was about presence. It was about choosing to be there with each other when the world wasn't looking. And that's what made the moment feel like a breach. As if we, the outsiders, had stumbled into a sanctuary we weren't supposed to see. But now that it's out, we can't unsee it. And more importantly, neither can they. Because whether they planned it or not, that night at the hotel gym has changed something. Not just in the fandom, but perhaps between them, too. The silence of that night has become the noise of the morning after, and every move they make now, every outfit, every airport sighting, every live stream will be viewed through this new lens. What was a quiet run between friends is now a spark setting fire to old questions, and the question burning brighter than all the rest: was this just a coincidence, or was this the beginning? It didn't take long before ARMY investigators began lining up the dots, one by one. The timeline, the outfits, the city, the mood. Because this wasn't just a blurry video to them. This was a breadcrumb, a signal. And for many confirmation, they looked back days earlier, hours before. Jungkook's arrival in LA had been quiet, almost too quiet. No press, no fanfare, just whispers. Then, not long after, Jimin, also under the radar. No joint appearances, no shared selfies, just silence. Until now. And when that silence broke, it broke loud. Screenshots of their gym moments spread like wildfire. Edits flooded TikTok. Accounts with millions of followers zoomed in on hands, eyes, spacing. Look at how close they are. Pause at 0:12. Jungkook checks if Jimin's okay. Their breathing is in sync. He slows down when Jimin slows down. The speculation wasn't without precedent. Jikook, as a pair, have always held a certain gravitational pull. They orbit each other in ways that feel intentional, even when everything else feels controlled. Fans recall the lingering glances during award shows, the hand brushes during encore stages, the whispered words caught by hot mix. So many moments that felt like small confessions disguised as casual habits. And this gym video, it was the loudest whisper of them all, because there was no audience. No cameras, at least, not officially. This wasn't for fan service. This wasn't for performance. And maybe that's why it hit so hard. For years, fans have asked, are they just close friends? Is it deeper? Or are they simply bonded by the weight of what they've carried together: fame, pressure, longing, separation? Maybe it's all of those things. But something about this moment felt like it peeled back a layer we weren't meant to see. Not just because they were alone, but because they let themselves be. No posing, no pretending, just two people in motion, side by side, without needing to explain why. And that, perhaps, is where the most powerful part lies. In a world where every second of an idol's life is curated, managed, filtered through contracts and expectations, this moment broke pattern. It wasn't planned. It wasn't announced. It just happened. Which raises an even harder question. What if this wasn't meant to happen at all? What if this moment, however brief, was the crack in the wall they've spent years building? And what if that crack was the truth? Because no matter how tightly the industry tries to hold its secrets, the truth has a way of slipping through. A quiet run, a shared rhythm, a hidden gym, a grainy video.